Let's say you're working on a speech, but you are struggling. You don't know how to make it fascinating or captivating to the audience. You look at your draft and you see all kinds of data and tons of information. What are you missing? You're missing emotion. You can get there by telling a story. I recently wrote a speech for a client who wanted to pay tribute to a nonprofit organization. You can imagine the facts and figures he had at his disposal. But when he looked at his draft, it was boring. What was missing? Emotion. He needed to tell a story. I'd like to read an excerpt from that speech so you can see the impact of emotion in a keynote. The invitation to join this board came 2 years after the September 11th terrorist attacks. By then, 2.5 million people in this country, many over the age of 50, had lost their jobs. That included members of my family and fathers of my friends. So I saw what happens to people over the age of 50 when they were displaced but still wanted to work. In fact, they still needed to work, not only to support their families, but also to have meaning and purpose in their lives. I saw for myself the havoc that a job loss can wreak on breadwinners and families through downsizings and right-sizings, mergers and acquisitions, circumstances beyond a person's control. I felt a deep compassion for these men and women who were stunned, lost, alone, and afraid, paralyzed with fear by their own new fork in the road. Many of them had worked at the same place for 30 years, and so they had no resume, no interviewing skills, and often no experience with new technology. As we know, people identify themselves based on what they do. So if they lose what they do, they lose who they are. That's why I decided it was worth the fight to help keep this nonprofit organization whole and healthy. In that example, that personal story worked because it showed how the speaker was connected to the organization. And as a result, people in the audience felt connected too.